Ahead on Up with KREM, we have new information about the death of the Washington State Patrol troopers. Investigators found the truck they believe hit her, but the driver is still on the run.
It was the eve before Christmas and all wet across the inland Northwest. I'm tracking plenty of rain into the holiday.
Plus, the Spokane airport says they expect to serve more than 300,000 passengers this holiday season. If you're one of them, we have some last-minute travel tips. And later, rural Idaho schools losing millions in funding because of a surprise cut. How many teachers' jobs hang in the balance?
Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful Christmas Eve morning. I'm Christian Garza, filling in for Tim and Nicole. Well, let's bring in meteorologist Thomas Patrick now to just kind of talk about what weather we're going to expect, because today's a big travel day. I'm sure Christmas, everyone's wondering what's going to happen on Christmas as well. So, Thomas, what can people expect?
Yeah, a lot to try to wrap up in just 30 seconds. Let me start with this. It is going to be a pretty breezy day in Spokane, but there are locations that are going to experience some pretty strong or almost severe wind. So it's definitely not a nothing situation. There are areas that are under high wind warnings for both southeastern Washington and for the west side as well. So if you're in Asotin, Nez Perce, Pomeroy, or Dayton, you are under high wind warnings until 2 o'clock today. Strong winds up to 60 miles per hour could cause some damage in the region. We'll be monitoring that. But we are expecting nowhere near that level of wind here in Spokane. More of just a blustery 25 or 30 mile per hour wind speed for ourselves. In the meantime, things pretty rainy, just some scattered showers drifting through eastern Washington right now. And that will be the case for the next 24 plus hours. Fairly wet Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Taking a look outside now at traffic. This is I-90 in Freya. As you can see, there are a few cars on the road. The roadways look a little bit wet from those overnight showers, but roadways are clear for people to travel and get to where they need to go this morning, as well as just for the holiday week in general. Here on Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. Well, if they haven't left already, many people will be heading off to see family and friends later today and tomorrow. Now, this is a live look at the Spokane International Airport. Now, when we first checked in about 30 minutes ago, there was a long line of people waiting to get on board of their flights and everything like that. As you can see, the line has died down just a little bit, but there are still a fair amount of people there. Just a reminder, if you're heading out for any sort of flight today, just pre-check your bags and pre-check those tickets as well. Now, KREM 2's Connor McAvoy breaks down what travelers need to know before heading to the airport.
Staff at the Spokane airport tell me they're expecting to serve more than 300,000 passengers this holiday season. I managed to speak to a few people traveling today, and they tell me the safest and easiest way to have a successful trip is to make sure you pack your patience. Cars are dropping off and picking up left and right at the Spokane airport on Tuesday. For Brianna Crawford and her partner Corey, they're getting ready to head to Cancun for Christmas.
We like to be where it's really warm and just started our own tradition. We've been together for 10 years, so that's what we decided to do.
It's a tradition Crawford says they come prepared for every time they fly, and staff at the Spokane airport advise to do the same. They say travelers should arrive 2 hours before their flights are set to take off. They advise you not wrap any holiday gifts in carry-ons or checked bags, as they could be searched by TSA. And if possible, they encourage folks to avoid the daily peak travel time at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Nationwide, AAA is expecting roughly 8 million travelers to take domestic flights, and roughly 122 million Americans are predicted to travel at least 50 miles from home. These numbers are a 2% increase from 2024. In Crawford's case, she says she gave up not checking a bag years ago and hasn't looked back.
We only have a backpack because we have to stay night in Arizona tonight. But we check our bag and just it makes it so much easier.
As folks get ready to embark on a trip for the holidays, Crawford says the best way to have a good trip is to start it with a positive attitude.
If you're anxious at all, just give yourself extra time and just be friendly. That's the only thing you can do to get through the holidays.
Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Well, people flying to visit family or friends aren't the only people taking to the skies. We are tracking Santa this morning. Right now, he is over Japan. And like I said earlier, he has officially passed the 1 billion gifts given threshold. So he's definitely making his rounds across the world. If you want to keep track of Santa throughout the day, we have the Santa Tracker streaming live right now on KREM 2 Plus. Obviously, today is Christmas Eve. If you have any last-minute shopping, make sure that you get it done early, as many stores across the inland Northwest plan on closing early today. Target and Walmart are both open, but are planning on closing early and will remain closed tomorrow. Costco is open today until about 5 this evening, and they'll also be closed tomorrow. Fred Meyer will be closing stores and gas stations tonight at 6 and will be closed tomorrow. Safeway will also have reduced hours today. As to what stores will be open, AMC Theaters and Regal will be open, Denny's will be open, Red Lobster will be open today and tomorrow. Many Starbucks are also open on Christmas Day, but just be sure to check the hours at your local store before you head out. And then, of course, we have a list of what will and will not be open up on our website, KREM.com. The city of Spokane wants to remind the community that several facilities and services will be closed or delayed for the holidays. Spokane City Hall will close at noon today and be closed all day on Christmas. All Spokane Public Library locations will be closed today and tomorrow. The Numerica Skate Ribbon and Louvre Carousel will also be closed on Christmas. Garbage and recycling will be a day late, and parking meters will be free on Christmas, but time limits still apply. While over in Coeur d'Alene, City Hall is closed tomorrow and today. The city says most other city offices will also be closed. Coeur d'Alene garbage won't be picked up tomorrow, but instead will be picked up on Friday. And in Post Falls, City Hall will close at noon today and remain closed tomorrow. Garbage in Post Falls will also be a day late. We have some new developments this morning out of Western Washington. Investigators have located and impounded a truck they believe is connected to the death of a Washington State Patrol trooper. Investigators believe this dark-colored pickup truck was the second vehicle to hit Trooper Tara Marissa Gooding while she was responding to an unrelated crash on State Route 509 Friday night. Police are still asking for the public's help to find the driver. If you have any sort of information, you're asked to call the number on your screen. Well, two Spokane teenagers, ages 13 and 14, pleaded guilty to punching and shooting a man over a vape pen this week. It happened back in September at an apartment in North Washington Street. Court docs show the two teens got in an argument over a vape pen before being told to leave. Once outside the apartment, the teens punched, then shot the resident. He was taken to the hospital and has recovered since. Both teens have been sent to a juvenile rehabilitation center. And a Spokane man accused of allegedly sexually assaulting a woman and exposing himself to a child here in Spokane has been arrested in Connecticut. Spokane Police Department Special Victims Unit began investigating the allegations back in July. Earlier this month, a warrant was issued for the arrest of 42-year-old Ryan Cheek. SPD learned he left Spokane, returning to his home state of Connecticut. He was arrested and is expected to be extradited back to Spokane to face charges. And some Washington farmers work to recover after the recent flooding. Now, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is offering a range of disaster assistance programs. Now, that includes help for livestock losses, feed and grazing damage, and cost share programs to replant or rehabilitate damaged orchards and nursery trees. Producers may also qualify for low-interest emergency farm loans to replace equipment, repair infrastructure, or cover operating expenses. The USDA is urging impacted farmers and ranchers to report losses as soon as possible and contact their local USDA service center to learn which programs they may qualify for. And while ski season is in full swing at some mountains, Stevens Pass remains closed because of the Highway 2 closure. To make things worse, season pass holders learned they won't be able to get a refund. The ticket, called the Epic Pass for any Vail-owned resorts, is over $1,000. Now, for the Stevens Pass only option, skiers are out about $400.
If it were me, I would be pretty upset too.
They really need to do something, or I think they're going to lose a lot of customers.
One note here, lift tickets are fully refundable, but season passes are not. There's no estimated date on when Highway 2 will reopen.
Time is 6:09 as we take a look at our weather forecast today. Things are fairly mild for December. We'll still say it that way because let's face it, it should be 20s in the morning and 30s in the afternoon, and we're about 10 degrees above that mark today on this Christmas Eve. Current temperature is 37 to 39 degrees. So with that being said, any precipitation is quite easily just going to be rain and not snow this time around. As for our day planner, things will be into the mid 40s this afternoon, again with scattered showers just on on and off all day long. That'll also be the case for Christmas Day as well.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Well, Washington and Idaho wildlife officials are looking for more information into 2 illegal killings of bighorn sheep. One sheep was killed near Riggins, Idaho, and another sheep was found near Asotin, Washington. The ram in Idaho was killed in late November with no attempt to recover the animal. The sheep in Washington was killed around December 13th. Now, it's believed that the 2 incidents are not connected, but if you have any information about them, you are asked to contact wildlife officials. And speaking of those sheep, a pneumonia outbreak has been detected in a herd of bighorn sheep in Reynolds Creek, which is south of Boise. Idaho Fish and Game says the outbreak was first detected earlier this month while on a routine check. Crews are gathering information and working to prevent the spread. Officials are asking anyone who finds a dead or sick bighorn sheep to report it as soon as possible. Don't go anywhere. Still ahead on Up with KREM, federal funding for rural Idaho schools being slashed. We hear from one Idaho superintendent on how this could hurt communities. And later, Elf on the Shelf is officially 20 years old. We are taking a look back at the tradition. But first, it's time for your wake-up call. Now, this morning, we wanted to know what you're asking Santa for Christmas. We've gotten a lot of comments into the newsroom. A lot are saying peace in the world and more kindness, asking Santa for some new shoes and a vinyl. I want my hair to grow back, or maybe a wig. Signed, Bald Jacob. Well, I hope that Bald Jacob ends up getting a wig or something to help him out. Well, if you that one got me. You drive the conversation on this show. You can text us to the number 509-448-2000 to be a part of Up with KREM. But first, here is a live look outside. Look how gorgeous it is this Christmas Eve morning.